love intimate, thoughtful weddings, and here are some tips to having the best intimate wedding, especially when you've decided to go that route. You want to have a small wedding. Stay tuned, and I'm going to give you the download of how to create the best intimate wedding. My first tip is strategically plan your guest list. I know you've decided to, you want to have something intimate, you want to have something small. So strategically plan your wedding guests. So who am I going to invite for my wedding? Who are my parents inviting? Things like that. You strategically plan your guest list. And this would also play out in strategically positioning how your guests sit. Because what you want to do with an intimate wedding is, because you have this small group of people, typically they will be close knit, or they are my friends, my fiance's friends, my parents' friends, their friends, families. Sometimes you have that they have interacted with each other, they are really like close. Sometimes you have that they are not so close. So you want to think about your wedding as an intimate ceremony, right? So how do you plan? You plan how they sit together. So I want this person to meet this person, I want this person to interact with this person. All of those thoughts would come in play when you are planning. So while you are planning, strategically planning your guest list, you also strategically plan your place cards, what guests should be when on the table. All of those things you think about when you want to have an unforgettable intimate wedding. With intimate weddings, you can go all out, like you can be crazy in a good sense. You can express yourself fully. So you can decide to be cheesy, and you know what, why don't we have an handwritten invitation card? What says you can't have an handwritten invitation card? You don't need to write so much, because you have limited number of people to invite. Even if you feel like, oh, this person is not in the country, how do I send the invites? I mean, there are several ways you can send invites to people these days. So why not go for a handwritten invitation card? And even with our invitation, we can decide to, let's go wild with this thing. You can have a special invitation box. I'm inviting you to my wedding. Like, there are endless ways to be creative when it comes to intimate weddings. Also, pick the right venue. Venue is very important. And while because you've decided to go intimate, you decided to go small, you have lots of options when it comes to venues. So pick the right venue. What atmosphere? Think about the atmosphere you want to give. What vibe do you want to give off for your wedding? Then that would also play in the type of venue you pick. You can decide to go with a restaurant. You can decide to go, I'm going to do an outdoor setting. Is it in a garden? Is it in my compound, my father's house? There are lots of options. Do I want a small hall within a big hall? Things like that. Like, there are lots of options actually. I'm thinking about it, I'm just really excited. So if you're planning an intimate wedding, just send us a message. The thought of planning an intimate wedding is very exciting. So let us know. You can have custom gift boxes. I mean, you have an intimate wedding, you're looking at maybe 30, 50, 70 people. You can have custom gift boxes, or because you're creating a special moment and a personalized moment for everybody attending your wedding. While it's your wedding, they're coming to celebrate with you. You're also putting out these touches that says, oh, even though you're coming to celebrate with me, I know that you're very important to me. I understand that it's a privilege, I want to celebrate you. I want to celebrate this friendship. I want to celebrate your role, your importance in my life, and things like that. The other thing is hire an event planner. While many times you think about, because it's an intimate wedding, in terms of on the day, confusion can be limited. But then you can't rule out the fact that, in fact, it's an event planner that is speaking with you, giving you all these ideas about how to create an unforgettable experience for your wedding, for your intimate wedding. So hire an event planner. At the very least, hire a day of coordinator, because regardless of the number of size you've decided to go with for your guests, there are particular things that you still need to be sorted. They're like baseline for every type of event. So hire an event planner, or at the very least a day of wedding coordinator. Be creative with your wedding activities. Like, because it's an intimate wedding, it can also be a fun day, a day out with whatever hashtag you decided to go with. So be creative with the different activities you want for your wedding. You don't have to be restricted to the typical wedding reception program. So be creative with activities. Like, you can go over and beyond for your wedding activities, because you have a small group of people that are very likely to be very engaging and very participatory in whatever you're doing on your wedding, as opposed to having a DJ, hire a live band for your intimate wedding ceremony. And this comes into play because most of the guests, their profile, all the type of songs they like. In fact, you can even incorporate their names into the different songs. So hire a live band for your intimate wedding. The experience is just going to be like on another level, right? So hire a live band. If you want to do a DJ, fine, but you can do a DJ and a live band, but definitely go for a live band. Hire a live band for your intimate wedding ceremony. Be detailed in your decoration. The fact that you're going small does not mean that you should have a shabby decoration. So be detailed. It's that time where you can be very detailed, very particular about, oh, you know what, I want this place full. Maybe you want florals. I want everywhere filled with florals. If you're a floral person, if you like lots of flowers. So be detailed in your decoration. It's that time you can be creative and you can also be detailed. In fact, you can even go for a themed wedding, because you have a small number of guests. They are more likely to adhere to your dress code, to the theme of the event, and splurge on photography. Yes, you have my permission to splurge on photography, because you want to ensure that you capture all of that moment. You want to capture as much as you can, preserve those memories. And another tip would be, involve your guests. You have this small crowd. Think about it as you're going out to have fun, right? So involve your guests, or maybe they're involved in the photography, they're involved in different elements. So it's like you plan all of these things. All of these things don't just happen. You don't just get to your wedding and be like, okay, since we're all here, what can we do? No, you have to have thought about, oh, I want them to be involved in this, I want them to be involved in that, and that also plays into the activities I spoke about earlier. Skip the wedding party. Like, I mean, you're already inviting about 50 guests. You don't need those, oh, this is my bridal party, this is my chief bridesmaid, this is my bridesmaid, these are my bridesmaids, these are my groomsmen. Just keep all of that. Like, we are a family now, so you don't need to have specifics. It just gives you it gives a new dimension to your wedding, honestly. Like, it's exciting to talk about an intimate wedding. Properly planned intimate wedding, not just anyone. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, while this is not an exhaustive list, there are lots of things in my head, but for the purpose of this recording, I don't want it to be that long. Incorporate your love story into the menu. So how we met, like, there are many ways to go about it, or different things, different activities, different timelines. You could incorporate that into your wedding menu, and you would have the best time, like the best time, both you and your guest. So if you have a wedding coming up and you would like Eventigo to plan, so let me just tell you about Eventigo. Eventigo is a wedding planning and event planning company. We're currently based in Lagos, Nigeria, but of course we're available to travel anywhere in the world, right? So if you have a wedding coming up, you can let us know. You can just send us an email. Our email is in the description box, and then we can take it up from there. You want to ensure that you have custom-made experiences, preserved memories, and then we help you communicate excellently, because we believe that for every event there's a message you're trying to pass across, there's something you're trying to communicate, and then we ensure that you do that excellently, so that your guests, the recipient, the people, your target audience, they actually get the message that you're trying to portray. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and share this video with your friends, share with your family, and we'll see you in another episode. Bye.